So there's a few brand new Nintendo Switch stories that just dropped today that I really want to share with you all, starting with the fact that we have a brand new Dragon Ball game announced out of left field that is confirmed to be coming to the Switch in 2022, and it may go a completely different gameplay direction than you would expect from something in the Dragon Ball universe. Then I also want to share with you guys the official nominations for the Game Awards, as we did have that drop today, and there is one game that is very near and dear to my heart that is officially in the running for Game of the Year. And then the big talking point for today's video is some interesting decisions from Nintendo's marketing around Nintendo Switch Online, as they have a brand new free trial offer updated on their website and they are promoting it, and I want to talk about what this means for the future of the service as a whole. What's up, nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. Now, as I mentioned, guys, we're covering a few different stories today, and I want to kick it off with a game that just came out of left field as a brand new announcement that is being confirmed to come to the Switch and other major platforms in 2022, and this is one by the name of Dragon Ball: The Breakers, and this is actually a very interesting gameplay style, as it appears to be an asymmetrical online multiplayer game where you are essentially trying to survive from someone like Cell, and I don't know if that's the only person who can actually chase you, but that's definitely what was featured in this trailer. And I would love to show the entire trailer, but I will have it linked in the description down below, because for some ridiculous reason, Bandai Namco, even in 2021, actually likes to hand out copyright claims for things like showing off their brand new games and talking about them and promoting them, but that's neither here nor there. I can't show all of the gameplay trailer, but I do want to quickly hop over to Nintendo Everything, where they actually kind of detail everything we know about the game so far in terms of what style of gameplay it will offer, and a few comparisons to other games, because this is not like a first original style gameplay attempt. Like, they are definitely taking some inspiration from games in the past and putting the Dragon Ball skin on there. But let's quickly read through this article together. Dragon Ball: The Breakers announced for Switch. Bandai Namco and DIMS just announced Dragon Ball: The Breakers, a new asymmetrical online multiplayer game. The title will launch for Switch and other platforms sometime in 2022. Dragon Ball: The Breakers is set in the Dragon Ball Xenoverse universe and has fans playing as one of the iconic rivals of the franchise, the Raider, or one of the 7 survivors with no superpowers. The Raider will need to use its power to eliminate the regular survivors. These regular civilians have been caught in something known as the temporal seam, trapping them in a place where space and time are in disarray. They'll need to cooperate in order to push back the Raider and escape using the Super Time Machine. An aspect of the game involves using some items on the field and escaping the field strategically. Producer Ryosuke Hara said today that Bandai Namco is working hard with the team at DIMS to provide brand new, fun, asymmetrical multiplayer experience that we want to be accessible for all, while offering a strong wealth and depth of gameplay and situations. So a lot of people online are describing this as a Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th style of a game, cloned, but obviously with a Dragon Ball skin on the overlay. And while it does seem like an interesting idea, I really don't know what to think about the game so far. I mean, I will want to definitely see more gameplay and actually some hands-on footage of, what it looks like when you're trying to survive and outrun Cell. And like I said, is Cell the only villain that you can do this with? Can you go in the Majin Buu path as well and try to absorb people? Like, it'll be interesting to see how big of a scope of a project this will really be, but it is at least something we can look forward to and keep our eyes peeled on, as far as a new Dragon Ball game that will be coming to the Switch in 2022, and definitely something with a different gameplay direction, as it is not your classical fight to survive type of deal. It seems more like a strategy, run away, use items on the field, and try to work together with teammates to ultimately make it back to that time machine to escape before you're absorbed. So I look forward to hearing from you guys in the comments down below what your initial thoughts and impressions are on this type of game, and if you play any other asymmetrical online multiplayer games, and if you will be interested in this game personally as we do get closer to its 2022 release. Now, the next update I want to share with you all today is actually one around the Game Awards, as we are coming closer and closer to this event, as it will be held on December 9th in 2021, which is just under a month away now, which is really hard to believe. But we did get the official announcement today from Mr. Keeley himself with a new trailer that basically goes over every category and every nomination that will be held at this event. And while we don't always see Nintendo Switch get all the love on this type of stage, because obviously there is a lot of third-party games that never ever actually make it to the Switch, which maybe if we had a stronger Switch or Switch Pro revision, that we could see more of those games eventually come over. But for the time being, we always see it kind of skewed in more of the way of PlayStation 5 or Series X and S exclusives, or the major online multiplayer games such as your Call of Duty Warzones and all of that. So that being said, there are a number of notable Nintendo Switch titles that have been nominated this year, and I want to start off with all of the categories where a Nintendo Switch game is actually nominated, and then share my big hype announcement that I am hoping, like cautiously hoping, that we can maybe see this game potentially win Game of the Year. But at the same time, I'm going to share with you guys how the votes are calculated, and it does have me worried on whether or not it will. But to start off the list, we have Best Role-Playing Game, and we got both Monster Hunter Rise and Shin Megami Tensei 5 nominated on that list, amongst Cyberpunk 2077, which is ridiculous that that's on the list at all, because if you guys don't remember how botched that launch was and how broken that game still is to this day, like it's a shame that it's taken this long. I mean, they had to pull it from the PlayStation Store for months and months. I don't think it ever went back on the PlayStation Store, in fact, and we're still waiting on the next gen patches for the consoles to actually be able to run that game powerfully enough. If you played it on the PC, that might be the only way you had a somewhat acceptable experience with the game. Then you had Scarlet Nexus and Tales of Arise. So of course the two Switch games on there are the Shin Megami Tensei 5 and Monster Hunter Rise. And while I do think Shin Megami Tensei 5 could be in the running for this, it will be interesting to see, because of course the game just came out. Monster Hunter Rise also has a huge fan base and following, and I could definitely see either one of those being in the running. So I'm personally pulling for either Shin Megami Tensei 5 or Monster Hunter Rise to win this category, but I would love to know from you guys in the comments down below what your personal best RPG was for 2021. Now, next up, you had Best Family Friendly Titles, and there are actually quite a few Nintendo Switch games in this category, as it really, I think the mainstream just typically sees Nintendo Switch titles as family friendly, and of course they are in a lot of ways, but there's also a lot of grown adults like us that just play them by ourselves or with our friends because we grew up for nostalgia for them. But that's neither here nor there. The family friendly list is It Takes Two, which is not a Nintendo Switch title. Then you have Mario Party Superstars. That would be my personal pick, as I'm having a ton of fun with that game right now, and I think it is the perfect return to form that fans have been asking for a long time from the Mario Party franchise. Then you have New Pokemon Snap, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, which is another fantastic game, and WarioWare Get It Together, all of which are going to be, in the running, but I'm going to be pulling for Mario Party Superstars as my personal pick. And for the most anticipated game category, you wouldn't think this one would be hard for me, but it's actually incredibly hard for me to decide, as you have both Elden Ring, which if you guys don't know, I'm a ridiculously huge Dark Souls fan, and I've been waiting for a sequel in this franchise since Dark Souls 3 in 2017, and that's essentially what Elden Ring is. It's the spiritual successor to what Dark Souls 3 left off with. And then you have the sequel to Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I've been waiting for that game to come out since 2017 also. So this is going to be like 2022 will be a stacked year for me. But amongst those two, you do also have God of War Ragnarok, which is another one I'm super excited to check out, Horizon Forbidden West, and Starfield. And while Starfield is nowhere near on the list as high as those other games are, and especially, Elden Ring and Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 being my big favorites, I do think that I'm hoping for personally for this to pull for Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, as many Nintendo Switch wins as we can get on there. I think it's the better, but I do think that Elden Ring very well could walk away with this, as the fan hype behind this game is incredible. And if you guys do own other platforms like the PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X or S, or the PS5, definitely pick up Elden Ring and check it out. It's even on PC, so I mean, it can sometimes be a hard game for people to get into for the first time, but I'm telling you guys, once that hook sets, it is hard to compare it to anything else in terms of the rush and gameplay experience that you get out of those Soul-style games. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing which one walks away with the most anticipated game of the year. Then you have Best Mobile Game, and Pokemon Unite made it on there, which of course is also available on the Nintendo Switch, and there's not really anything else other than Genshin Impact that I will say is really like a quality mobile game that had caught my eye from that list as far as the nominees goes. Then you have Best Independent Game, and we have both Death's Door and Loop Hero. And if you guys forgot, Death's Door is about to release on the Nintendo Switch for the first time on November 23rd, and that would personally be my pick. Even though I haven't played the game, I see it from the trailers, it's very heavily Zelda and even Souls inspired with how the combat is, and it looks very enticing to me, and so I personally will be pulling for that. That being said, Kena Bridge of Spirits is also on there, which is a fantastic PS5 title, so I will be curious to see which one walks away with the best independent game, but definitely some quality ones to check out if you haven't already. And remember, Death's Door will be releasing right away on November 23rd on the eShop. Then from the Switch and Best Multiplayer Game, we had both Knockout City and Monster Hunter Rise, and the big conversation here, the best game of the year. Okay, here is the full list. Deathloop, It Takes Two, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, and the big one, Metroid Dread. And I just gotta say, personally, regardless of what happens, seeing Metroid Dread in the conversation and in the running for Game of the Year and have the official nomination is a huge win for me as a long-term hardcore Metroid fan. And I absolutely think, even with this game being 2.5D and the mainstream maybe not giving it all the attention and love it actually deserves, it still should be in this conversation. And in my book, it should be the Game of the Year. Now, of course, that is all subjective and people enjoy different style of games, but I do think that this is a true masterpiece from start to finish. The exploration, the combat, the story parts, the cutscenes, like the way that this game was presented as a whole is absolutely my personal Game of the Year for 2021. And I can say that confidently. And that's with, me being a huge Zelda fan and playing through Skyward Sword HD, which of course was a re-release, not a new game for the first time, but I still would rank this higher than that as far as my level of enjoyment from start to finish of enjoying the game. And I truly hope there is some chance that we do see Metroid Dread walk away with this award. And of course, you do have to have the conversation of how they decide the Game Awards, which is actually a 90-10 split. 10% of the weight does actually come from fan votes, which you can go to thegameawards.com and actually cast your own votes on every single game category that was nominated. I think there was one or two that we left out. I know Metroid Dread is also nominated for Best Action RPG, so you can go vote for all of that stuff on the website directly, but you have to keep in mind that's only 10% of what the final score actually goes to, as there is what's called a blended vote between a voting jury that actually decides 90% of the weight for these games. And that's where we see a lot of the controversial decisions really come from, because fans can feel completely one way and then their panel for whatever reason decides to go with just the biggest budget title. Like if Cyberpunk 2077 walks away with multiple awards from this event, I'm going to be frustrated as a gamer, because it seems like the dollars or the hype behind that game just being in the works for so long totally overshadowed the fact that it was a broken mess when it was released. But regardless, I'm very hopeful to see some Nintendo Switch games walk away with awards from this event, and I will be very excited to watch it on December 9th. So at this point, guys, I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on all of the games that were nominated, which ones you're personally calling for to be the Game of the Year, or which ones that maybe aren't in the running for Game of the Year but that you want to see walk away with awards. Please share all your thoughts and opinions on all things Game Awards this year in the comments down below. Now, the last story I want to share with you all today is actually one around Nintendo and a brand new announcement that they tweeted out today, actually promoting a free offer that has been around for a while with Nintendo Switch Online, but they're kind of repositioning it. Even if you've used it before, you can again take advantage of a 7-day free trial for Nintendo Switch Online, and it is actually for the base service, not the expansion pack, which we would expect them to actually heavily be promoting. There is no trial for that service, but there is again a free trial for 7 days, even if you've previously taken them up on this offer around the base service. So to start off, I do want to read through exactly what they tweeted out there and then kind of share my real thoughts and opinions on what this means for Nintendo and their overall thought and stance around expansion pack service right now as it stands. As if you guys forgot, it is still one of the most disliked announcements they have made so far. But hop over to Nintendo of America's Twitter. They have announced here, get a free 7-day trial of Nintendo Switch Online available to those without an active Nintendo Switch Online membership. Don't worry, if you've previously activated a free trial, this additional 7-day free trial is now available. Learn more from the home menu on the Nintendo Switch. Now, they then link to a website where they basically go over the entire, pitch promotion page of what both Nintendo Switch Online base service and what Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack has to offer, and their subscription offerings for both of those tiers. And what is interesting to me, and Nintendo re-promoting their base tier service with a 7-day free trial and totally leaving out the expansion pack from that free trial, because if you go to that page and you scroll down to where it shows the pricing for both services, you can clearly see that the base service is the only one that supports a 7-day free trial. And that's kind of where I want to start off this discussion, because I think it's a very interesting decision for Nintendo to have a brand new expansion pack offering, which is a new tier of their online service that they clearly want to grow their subscribers in and get to test out and try out this service so that you can actually be locked into paying that higher price for a year, and obviously in turn making them significantly more revenue. I think that the fact that there is no free trial and or no monthly options for this Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack really shows that Nintendo themselves probably know that they don't have a service that is really worth it at this point in time. And I know, some people will not agree with that in the comments. I think most do. I think this is one of those things that even hardcore Nintendo fans who always support them thick and thin through all of their different controversial decisions, and I'm typically one of those people, I think that this is clearly something that is not up to snuff for what they are offering here. I mean, we have basically 9 N64 games that are playable and something like 14 Genesis games that are available right now. And while we do know that some more are in the works and plan to come, we still have no official announcement from Nintendo around what kind of update schedule they will stick to. And that is a big problem to me when there is no way to try out this service and there's no way to sign up for 1 month or 3 months just to dip your toe in without getting the full $50 asking price that Nintendo wants you to pay right now. That, in my opinion, they're not even confident enough to give you a 7-day free trial with these N64 games, because if you do check them out right now, you will probably have a lot of the similar complaints that most people do have online, which is that there is noticeable input delay, a lot of lack of fog and downgraded textures, and various other things that just should not happen at this asking point. And that's outside of the conversation that we don't have the basic features that the other systems have had for years and years now, such as party chat and invite, even just basic system functionality stuff like themes and folders. Like, come on, Nintendo, you can step up your online service here. And the fact that they're giving another 7-day free trial for the base service but kind of foregoing any of the marketing towards the expansion pack was an interesting decision for them to make, in my opinion. But guys, at this point in the video, I really want to hear from you on all your thoughts and opinions on what you think Nintendo is planning here for the future of Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. Do you think they just continue to pump it up with content and keep everything going as is? Do you think we will one day get the option for different tiers of monthly pricing for this service? And what would they personally need to do to really make it worth that full $50 asking price in your eyes? Or if you are somebody who is truly happy with this service, I would love to hear from you as well on your perspective on, what Nintendo needs to keep doing to continue to support the service and keep you happy. Because again, all of us who have subscribed to this thing so far, myself included, are now in for a 12-month ride with no clear roadmap of where Nintendo is headed. But I would love to hear from you all on all the different stories we talked about today. So please share all your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below before you leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. Thanks so much for watching the video today, everyone. I do truly appreciate you all sticking around until the end. I do at this point in the video want to invite you all one more time to join Sunbro Nation if you haven't done so already. Do so by subscribing below, hit the like button on your way out if you enjoyed it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. That's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you all have a great day. Sunbro Nation, out.